Hole 1. The first is a relatively tough opening hole. With out of bounds down the left for the entire length of the hole, the right side is lined with an impressive row of tall trees, and of course the stream has to be crossed to reach the fairway. A large fairway bunker positioned right of the fairway 140 yards from the green makes the second shot more difficult. It wouldn't be that difficult a hole if it wasn't the first. Come off with a par, and you're happy. Hole 2. A par 5 that plays its distance from the back tee. Bunkers placed at a good driving distance on the left and right sides of the fairway insist that you keep it straight off the tee. The fairway narrows at the potential landing area of the second shot, with large overhanging trees and bunkers, making the golfer think about their strategy. A tight green to hit from the right with little room for error left or back. Hole 3. The two impressive large trees on the left side of the fairway define the tee shot, but also beware the fairway bunker on the right that will collect any shot that strays too far from the trees. Carefully placed bunkers for the less efficient golfer protect the layup landing area, whilst two bunkers protect the front left and right of this large inviting green. An easy green to 3-putt at the best of times. Hole 3. The two impressive large trees on the left side of the fairway define the tee shot, but also beware the fairway bunker on the right that will collect any shot that strays too far from the trees. Carefully placed bunkers for the less efficient golfer protect the layup landing area, whilst two bunkers protect the front left and right of this large inviting green. An easy green to 3-putt at the best of times. Hole 5. This short par 4 may not look difficult, but has ruined many a good start. Tree lined with an out-of-bounds trench for the length of the left side, the fairway slopes naturally from left to right, gathering tee shots into two right-side fairway bunkers very well positioned at the right distance for the less accurate tee shot. The green has a front left greenside bunker, whilst the right side is protected by a long bunker that runs parallel with the direction of the large back-to-front sloping green. The green is possibly the most undulating on the course and can damage the best golfer's card. Hole 6. A very impressive par 3 that plays its true length at all times. A series of large bunkers will scoop the poor tee shot, whilst a number of greenside bunkers sit left and right of the long narrow green. Any shot through the back of the green leaves a tricky chip, that is if you have avoided the small trees and shrubs. The green slopes from front to back and towards the rear of the green from back to front with a couple of subtle borrows to boot. There are not many more impressive par 3s in this part of the country. Hole 7. This hole looks fairly straightforward, but trouble awaits for those who do not hit a straight and reasonably accurate tee shot. A small but troublesome copse of trees encroaches onto the fairway on the left, and a water hazard with some further trees will catch the shot hit to the right. The second shot to the green has a couple of greenside bunkers which are not visible from the fairway, and a grass mound to the right. The green slopes quite significantly from back to front and from left to right. Not an easy green to read at the best of times. Hole 8. The second par 3, which looks fairly innocent by comparison to the sixth. A large hollow directly in front of the green can give the wrong impression of the distance to hit. 2 bunkers either side of the green will gather in any shot that does not hit the green with the right shape and speed. A ball hit too long will run down the slope at the back of the green, giving a difficult shot back to the pin. Hole 9. A real straightforward looking hole where you can see the green from the tee, but its simplicity stops there. A large tree on the left and smaller trees and a water hazard on the right create a fairly tight funnel through which the tee shot must be hit. A bunker on the right to catch the wayward tee shot. The approach shot requires precision if it is to be hit to the green. A large cross bunker will collect anything short. A pond and large tree will catch anything left, with 2 greenside bunkers waiting for the shot to hit right. The green is long and narrow with a slope from front to back. Hole 10. A dogleg left. The tee shot needs to stay away from the trees along the left of the fairway virtually the full distance of the hole. The approach is protected by a bunker 20 yards or so in front of the green. The green is surrounded by a grassy bank left and back. The right side, being the natural slope, is protected by a greenside bunker. One of the largest greens on the course, with a number of potentially very difficult pin positions. Hole 11. The tee shot here is the key. A tough hole in any conditions, but especially if the wind is into your face from the back tee. A line of large trees line the fairway on the left, while smaller trees run down the right. Depending upon the distance and position of the tee shot, the decision is whether to play for position or go for the green. Out of bounds down the right, 2 fairway bunkers down the left will influence how you make your mind up. The green is narrow but long, with a bunker on the front right and a bank at the rear to stop the running shot from going out. Hole 12. Here we have the dogleg to the left with out of bounds down the left for 3/4 of the length of the hole. A bunker comes into play for those that decide the tiger line is the way they intend to play this hole, masking a large hollow that is behind it. The second shot, if the green is the target, is as difficult a shot as there is in golf. An oak tree to the right centre of the fairway, beyond which slightly more central is a green protecting bunker that leaves a 20-yard landing area before the green. The green has 3 flanking bunkers, 1 right and 2 left, with slightly rising mounds around the outer perimeter. It runs ever so slightly back to front and from left to right, making some putts extremely tricky for speed and obscure burrow in certain places. Hole 13. The green is the largest on the course in area, but is very narrow at its entrance, widening out slightly until it passes the greenside bunkers, after which it slopes down and away from the direction of the tee shot. There is a small bunker front left, with a second bunker just ahead, not always visible from the raised tee. The green slopes from front to back and has a ridge just about halfway that can provide some very difficult putts. Hole 14. Without a shadow of a doubt the most difficult hole on the course. From a tree-lined tee, the drive is hit into the very open yonder, the fairway dropping down towards the more level ground in the distance. A fairway bunker awaits the longer tee shot hit off line to the right. The second shot is determined by the position of the tee shot, influenced by the stream that runs across the fairway. Lay up or go for the green. The green is a typical 2-tier design, with a fairly steep gradient slope up to the top tier. The slope comes into play in all but front pin positions. Hole 15. A very straight, picturesque par 5 from this elevated tee. The tee shot is hit down to the fairway, the only obvious hazards being the graduated rough, the out of bounds on the far left, and the water hazard that winds round from the right across the fairway. The second shot very much depends on the drive and capabilities of the player. Fairway bunkers right and left, a large depression on the right if you evade the bunker, a small but penalising copse of trees on the right if you're wayward in that direction. A large green with 1 or 2 subtle burrows to overcome. Hole 16. The tee provides a clear view of the required shot to a well-defined fairway. Trees down both sides of this fairway will punish. There are cross bunkers in a line some way down the fairway, hiding the change in levels, where the land runs gradually away through the green. To the left of the green is a bunker, positioned to attract wayward shots. The green slopes from front to back, so judgment of distance is paramount. Hole 17. Not a long hole, but can be as difficult as any. As with all golf holes, the key is the position of the tee shot. Here the fairway looks wide and quite expansive, a single bunker on the right the only hazard. The tricky sloping green is protected front and both sides by bunkers, and has out of bounds at the rear. Putting should be straightforward, but even the shortest of putts can test the nerve of the better golfers. Hole 18. A really nice par 3 looking out over the expanse of the golf course. The tee shot has to negotiate trees on the right, a bunker short of the green protecting a fine landing area for front pin positions. The green itself has a bunker on the right and 3 bunkers running around the side of it to the left. A straightforward green with gentle slopes, if any, left to right, front to back. Having enjoyed your round at Worsley Golf Club, the only thing left to do is enjoy the hospitality of the 19th hole.